we have Nikunj with us. So Nikunj is a bachelor of has done his bachelor's in mechanical engineering and is currently doing his master's in mechanical engineering from Concordia University. Stumble Meet is a channel for those who want to pursue a higher education, and please feel free to subscribe the channel. Let's get into the interview. Thanks a lot, Nikunj.
So yes, I'm as you mentioned that I've done my BTech from in institute from Gujarat Technological University, and it's called BVM. And after that, I have kind of like 3 years of experience in an industry, and then I decided to do my masters, and I ended up into Concordia University. Right now, I'm doing that. And apart from that, I'm also doing an internship in an aerospace industry.
Right.
So thank you for having me, Venkatesh. That's my background.
Right. Great. So I like to start with the question of choosing Concordia, Nikunj. So I know that for mechanical there are lots of universities here in Toronto, which in Canada, which people like a lot of preferences. So why specifically Concordia? When you are doing research, what made you to choose Concordia as your choice, best choice?
Okay, so for me, if you ask me, I have applied for like 5 universities when I decided to do my masters, and from that I got admission into Concordia only. So that is the one reason that I ended up into Concordia. But it turned out to be the best decision for me because for example, if I got into Ottawa University, then many of my friends are also there. And if you ask me about the opportunities available in industries, like there are a lot of industry in Montreal, for example, Pratt and Whitney, then ABB, then for mechanical engineers like Bombardier, Airbus. So a lot of industries are there. The only constraint which people are having here is a language, which is French. And apart from that, if you know the French language, there are a lot of opportunities for you. And if you don't know the French also, then also if you have some kind of reference and you interact with people on LinkedIn, you try to get opportunities, there are chances you will end up in good industry for internship or job after your graduation. And in terms of studies also, Concordia is pretty decent. So that's the reason, if you are planning for Canada, then Concordia might be a best option for you.
Right.
As per my opinion.
Right. So Concordia's medium of instruction, we also have the option of English, right? So how much a student is expected to know French as he is joining Concordia?
Okay, so as far as you are joining in university, there is no constraint regarding to the language. English is, if you know English well, then you are good to go for studies. But for getting, as I said, for getting a job or getting an internship, they might ask you might ask for a person who is bilingual in French and English. And for part-time, it is not an issue. If you want to do a part-time job, then English would be fine.
Right. So in terms of the joining the university, what is expected from a student to give an admission into this master's program by the university?
By the university, I would say if you have a good GPA, CGPA in your academics, previous academics, and if you have good IELTS score, probably more than 7 or 7, because I had 7. So 7, 6.5 also sometimes, but if you have 7 or above, then it would be better. And if you have good SOP, then you will get into Concordia easily.
Right. I would like to come to that point of SOP. So as someone is preparing for SOP, can you please give some guidance into I know that SOP has to be written from their own experience, but what I'm asking is how one should put their experience in terms of the SOP is considered, and how much does it, from your thoughts, how much will it help in someone to getting to the admission?
So if you ask me, SOP is one of the most important document for getting admission into any university, not into Concordia, but in any place, even in US also, in Canada also. So basically, you have to include all the things, all the achievements, all the technical background of you. For example, you need to be very specific regarding to what you are going to do. For example, if you are applying for a mechanical engineering course, then you need to show how you relate with that particular background, and how are you planning to do how mechanical engineering is going to help you develop more as a person, as an individual, and how you are going to contribute something to industries or society as well. So if you can focus on that area, and if you have some experience, then add that too. And it should be related to what you are going to do, what you are going to pursue in university. And apart from that, one more thing is, if you have done, or if you have already done some courses which relates to the master's program, you can include that, okay, I have done this courses, and in those courses I've learned this, and that can help me, do my master's in your university and maybe a project. So this kind of thing you should add in your SOP.
Right, right. So, in this particular program, in your batch, how is the diversity of your batch looks like from the experience point of view? Are all the students are expected to have some experience, or are there any freshers who just completed their bachelor's degree and have come to master's program? How is the diversity?
So, I mean, a lot of people are there from India in my classroom, if you ask me. And even my roommates are from Concordia University, so I know. And one of them is a fresher. Like he graduated and directly joined Concordia University just after his graduation in India. So a lot of people are there. It might be 50-50 if you ask me, the ratio.
And even from those who are coming into the master's program right from the bachelor's program perspective, I would like to ask this question: how are they taking the challenges in the program? Is it too tough for them to understand without proper work experience, or is it fine? Is it the same way as people with work experience? What are the difference in in terms of challenges that they are facing?
I would say in terms of study, the people who have work experience faces more problems than people who directly graduates and come, because they are fresh, because they know some of the concepts which were there in bachelor.
Okay.
And the people who are having 3 to 4 years of experience, they might forget some formula, some basic things which are needed to do certain courses in university. So for fresher, it is better if you directly come here in terms of studies. But then after, if you try to find a job, then maybe an experienced person would have an upper hand on the
Right.
people.
Yeah. Why I ask this question specifically to this program is, in mechanical engineering, even though your academics is good in terms of theory, unless you have got an experience where you practically get to get your hands on something. I just wondering from the mechanical perspective, how much it will make a difference is what something that I would like to know from your thoughts. But you're correctly articulated in terms of the study versus finding a job. So what people will expect, right? Great, that's great.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of this course, how is this course is scheduled? How long is this course, and how the duration has been divided into semesters? How does this focus?
Okay, so in Concordia, there are many ways you can complete your graduation. You can either complete it in 1.5 year, you can complete it in 2 years. So if there are specific timeline for semesters, for example, fall semester, winter semester, and then comes summer. So fall is 4 month semester, winter is also a 4 month semester, and summer there are two parts, summer 1 and summer 2, which both are of 2 months. So in summer you can complete a whole course or maybe two courses in just 2 months. And while in fall and winter you can complete a course in 4 months. So the rule is, in order to have a full-time student status, which is mandatory for every student, you need to have at least 3 courses in a term. You need to have at least 12 credits. So one course is equal to 4 credits. There are total 45 credits to complete for completing your graduation. And if you count that, then it will be 11 courses, and there will be 1 credit remaining for mechanical engineers, which will be a seminar or something like that. Okay, so you need to have at least 9 credits in a semester. So it can be either 2 courses and a seminar, or 3 courses. And in summer, it's optional. If you want to study, you can study. If you don't want to take any courses, you can take vacation and you can work full time. So that's how it goes. And there is one more thing, which is a co-op. So if you have a co-op, then the rule is you can only have one course along with your co-op in 4 months. So I would say it would take 2 years to complete the 45 credits, roughly 2 years. It can it can be less. It is up to an individual how you are doing your course.
So, irrespective of the length, will everyone be given the same 3 year work permit, post graduation work permit?
Work permit or study permit?
No, after studies, Canada
Okay, okay,
offers
yeah.
work permit, right? Post
Yes,
graduation
yes,
work permit.
yes, 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 yes.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
it will be
so
3 years.
3 years, right? Even if you
Yeah.
complete little before 2 years, is it
Yes, 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 definitely.
definitely it's, university considers it as a 2 year worth credits. Anyway, you are completing 45 credits, which is
Yeah,
equivalent to 2 years of program, right? Okay,
correct, correct.
great, great. So, in terms of the admission process, when one should start the admission process, at what time periods can one expect kind of results? When one should start his preparation for IELTS? Like, I'm just starting from there. When one should start when he thinks of doing a master's? How should the timeline of a student should be?
Okay, so in Concordia, if you are specifically talking about this university, on the university website, it is specifically written that on which date the admission process will start for any term, for fall or for winter. So if you want to, the early you start applying, the better for you to get a seat, because here people are not taking picking up the best one from the all the applications. They are, if you are fulfilling the requirement, if you are a good student, then they won't say that okay, other student is better than that, we will wait for other student, the better student to come, and then we will give admission to the other guy. No, if you are fulfilling the requirement, they will give you a seat. That as simple as that. So the admission opens approximately 1 year before the for example, if you are applying for fall 2024, then the admission process will start in September or October in fall 2023. So it is exactly 1 year before, and before that you should be prepared with your IELTS results
Right, right,
for
right,
applying,
right.
because applying process is another task. It takes time to prepare SOP and every documents which
Right,
is needed for applications.
right,
Universities ask some documents,
right,
so for that I would say 1 month prior to application starts, you
right,
should be prepared with your result, and then you
right,
can start prep planning.
right. So, in terms of the scholarships, do university provide any scholarships to master's program students, international students?
Not that I know, but bachelor's, yes.
Okay, right. So, in terms of the cost of this program, what is the cost of this program and how students manage this cost?
So the total fees for 2 years program is approximately 35,000 Canadian dollars, and from that you can choose to pay 2 terms or 1 term fee when you arrive into Canada. Apart from that, you have GIC. I would say you should save your GIC in terms of paying your second half of your fees, because usually people pay around 20,000 when they come here, 20,000 Canadian dollar fees, and then rest 15,000, maybe 12 to 15,000 they earn here, or maybe they save the GIC and then they earn and then they pay.
Right, right.
So if you are planning financially, then you should take rough figure around in rupees 22 lakhs with ticket, with air ticket.
Right, and usually I'm sure like Concordia University being a reputed university, Indian banks will consider providing the education loan with not but much of a big hassle, right? The
Sorry, in
Indian
what?
banks, it's considering the reputation of the university, the Indian banks will also easily process the
Yes, 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 yes,
loan.
yes. The
Yeah.
loans, yeah,
And in
yeah.
terms of the education loans from various banks, among the friends that you would have met, is there anything specifically unique that you would have noticed that, hey, this particular program in this particular branch it will be very helpful for, is very catered to international students? Is there anything of that sort that you, from your interaction with your friends or batchmates, is there anything unique that you would have noticed in terms of the
You,
student support?
student support in terms of loan and everything.
Yeah. Is there anything that comes to your mind?
No, not really, because for me, I haven't taken a loan.
Okay.
But some people have. They have to show something into the mortgage.
Okay.
For example, a house or some property.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to get a loan without mortgage, then it would be difficult, little bit difficult.
Right.
But there are ways to come. But the financial planning, I don't have much of idea.
No
So
problem. So in terms of the, I know that you mentioned on the GAC of the GAC to have the money in GAC to be used for the subsequent semesters. So, but just in case if someone wants some money to be sent from the home country to the Canada, what are the best options that students have? And just would like to know from the students' perspective who are looking to come abroad. So, what are the options that they have where the commission rates or the exchange rates are working the best?
As far as I know, the exchange rate, if you go beyond 7 lakhs in rupees,
Mm-hmm.
then the taxes would be higher.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are sending less than 7 lakhs, then there might be some taxes.
Mm-hmm.
But how much I don't remember exactly because I haven't got any
Okay.
money from
All right.
India. So
No problem. So, I would like to know, you also mentioned about the co-op program. So, internship, when it comes to internship, how much support can students expect from the university in terms of finding an internship? Can you please give
So,
some input?
so for finding an internship through university, you should be part of co-op program, which
Mm-hmm.
is not the case for all the students. There is specific form which you need to fill in order to be part of co-op, and there is a separate fees for co-op, which is roughly around $800 to $900
Mm-hmm.
for the whole program.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are part of co-op program, then you would get access to a portal called Compass,
Mm-hmm.
which is on the university site.
Mm-hmm.
From there, there will be a study term and work term decided by the university itself.
Mm-hmm.
And when the work term is decided, just before the work term, one semester before the work term,
Mm-hmm.
there are job postings available to apply. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to start applying from them, and you can get interviews, and by that you get internships. But if you are not part of co-op, maybe it's little bit difficult to get internship.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do that through various websites and LinkedIn. Many people got outside of co-op also.
Right.
The people I know.
Right.
But specifically to become part of co-op, you need to be alert about the deadlines of applying for the co-ops,
Mm-hmm.
and there are certain criteria. For example, if you are having GPA less than 3.3, you are not allowed to apply.
Mm-hmm.
It is out of 4.3. So if you are having below 3.3 out of 4.3,
Mm-hmm.
then you are not allowed to apply for co-op.
Mm-hmm.
If you have above 3.3, there are chances of you getting selected into co-op, but that again depends on the seats, how many seats
Mm-hmm.
are available with them. So probably the person who has 4 GPA can get seats easily than 3.51. And in that also it depends on which term you are applying for co-op. So if you are applying in fall, then it would be easy
Mm-hmm.
because they are also planning to fill the seats as early as possible
Mm-hmm.
with. So in winter it's little bit difficult, but which I have observed for other batch also, for
Mm-hmm.
my batch also. So this is how it works, the co-op
Right.
applications.
Yeah, yeah. So in order to, you have to be part of a core program in order to you to be allowed to get an access to that co-op portal. So in
Compass
order to
portal.
become the part of core program, you have to have a minimum CGPA. Only those students will be allowed to sit for the eligible for the co-op program, or provided that you have applied to become the part of the core program. So you have to apply to become part of the core program with enough credentials in your academics so that the college will,
Yeah.
university will take you into account for internships. Is it so?
Yeah, and if you are a new student, for example, if you consider my case, I came into fall 22.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have previous GPA in my portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
but I have filled the form, and somehow they considered my application, and I got into co-op.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, if you don't have any GPA, then also you can get into co-op. But again, it depends on the seat and their criteria and their selection process.
Okay.
And we don't know about the process, how it works.
Right, right.
So it completely depends on them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds interesting. So, in terms of the part-time job, can students easily find part-time jobs on campus? Can you please tell us about the on-campus jobs and off-campus jobs and how does they work out?
So on-campus job, you can apply for teaching assistant,
Mm-hmm.
and apart from that, invigilation of undergrad students
Mm-hmm.
for examination. So invigilation you can get easily, but you won't get hours,
Mm-hmm.
much hours to earn,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not that every day there is an exam. and there are a lot of people who are invigilators, so you get your own shift at your own time. And apart from that, in teaching assistant, you in order to be a teaching assistant, you need to score well in that particular course. Then you need to apply by emailing that professor that okay, you are interested to be a teaching assistant for that particular course. And after you become that, you will get certain hours about the maybe in laboratory, maybe a paper checking, so you will get paid accordingly. So these are in campus opportunities. And out campus, there are a lot of warehouses and small industries which are available where you get part time, like Amazon also, like packaging and everything, you will get part time easily here. So compared to Ontario, if you ask me, getting part time is really easy here.
Okay, right, right. So, in terms of the jobs, which company have you seen any company or organization where students mostly find a job? Is there any? How is the environment there in Montreal where for getting the full-time jobs? How does this for mechanical engineering master students? How does that work out?
So mostly, I have seen one organization which for people, the freshers, to get a job into, which is Safran
Okay.
Aerospace, which is again an aerospace industry which is a supplier of industries like Airbus and Bombardier. So in that particular industry, I've seen that people are getting job really quickly, and the experience and the industry is really good. The experience is really good, both for industrial and mechanical engineers.
Okay. All right. 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 So,
And if you are
yeah, yeah, please.
if you are already if you are if you know if you are able to secure an internship into an industry, then there are more chances of getting you into that industry rather than a complete new fresher.
Right, right, right. So I've also noticed that people who complete bachelors in mechanical engineering, sometimes they also choose other fields like industrial engineering. So I would like to know your opinion in terms of deciding which stream to do their masters as some guidance.
Looking at the current scenario, industrial would be better option.
Okay. And what kind of, say, you have done your bachelor's in mechanical engineering. As you are coming into master's, you have also got an work experience. As you are coming into master's program, how does this particular program is, you have felt that it has transformed you from this particular university?
Okay, so the courses, it completely depends on the courses which you are taking. So the course structure is such a way that there are four kind of specialization in mechanical engineering. So you get to decide what specialization you want to do first of all, and in each specialization there are 9 to 10 course option available for you. You can choose any four courses from uh, set set of specialization. And if you want to do double specialization, you can perform double specialization also. So for me, I did specialization in materials. So I did four courses in materials. I had background in like kind of metallurgy because it was a pressure vessel industry, so related to welding and fabrication stuff. So I had little bit background, and that helped me here also in material specialization, because a lot of courses were related to the materials and the structures and crystal structures and everything. So I can correlate my experience and my courses with them. And after you do those four courses, apart from that, seven courses you can choose. If you want to do three courses of industrial engineering, you can do that. It is possible. If you want to do three courses of aerospace engineering, you can do that too. So you can build your own profile based on your experience and based on your desire.
Hmm. Yeah, you also mentioned about the advantage of doing masters in industrial engineering. So, but can you also please little bit elaborate what is the advantage that you were mentioning?
Advantage in terms of getting a job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because in mechanical, if people here ask for certain level of experience, so if you are a fresher, then industrial engineering would be a better option for you.
Okay, if you're a fresher, then industrial engineering may be a better option as well. Yes. And this particular program also, you will be doing projects as part of the different courses. Am I correct? It's
Yes.
project-based course, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And in terms of the living expense, how much can a student expect his monthly living expense to be?
Okay. On that question, you have two options. For example, if you want to stay near to the university, it's a downtown area.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely living expenses would be little higher than other places in the in Montreal itself. And if you are earning, let's say, around $1,000 a month in part time, you can live in downtown. But you need to share your room
Mm-hmm. Okay.
with someone.
Right.
It's not that you can live alone. If you are going to live alone, then the expenses would be definitely higher.
Right. Right. And is the transportation? How is the transportation system in the city of
Yeah.
Montreal?
So if you are planning to live little bit outside of downtown, for example, maybe 2 or 3 kilometers away from the university, the living expenses would be little cheaper. You will get more space to live, and the transportation, there is an Opus card for transportation, which you need to recharge every month. It's like $58 a month right now with taxes, and you can travel anywhere in Montreal for free for that particular month. In buses also, in metro also, you can use that single card. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right. Great. So, how much can one expect for the groceries? Those to be for cell phones, uh, everything including.
200 maybe
Okay.
for a month.
Right.
200, 250.
Right, right, right. So, is health insurance provided as part of your tuition fees?
Yes.
Right. So, I know that we were speaking about the jobs, and you mentioned about the company. But in terms of preparing the resume, does university provide any? As people come from various countries all over the world, to get them into Canadian standards, what are the support that the university provides to the students?
Okay. So if you are a co-op student, then there are specific trainings for students who are part of co-op, and they teach you how to build a resume, how to build a CV, when to apply, where to apply, and they also give you template for resume and cover letter as well. So you can use that template for applying as per the Canadian standards. And even if you are not in co-op, then you can ask for a friend who is in co-op, and you can use that template and you can apply.
Great. And when it comes to the French language, obviously French is not something that people coming abroad from abroad would be knowing before in hand. So, what are the supports that the university provides to make them? Are there any support that the university provides in terms of improving the French language for international students?
And not that I know from university, but outside university, yeah, there are government institutions which pay you to learn French.
Oh, oh, okay. All
So
right.
it's not that much. The pay is not that much, but
Okay.
still, you need to register for classes as per your availability, and and they are strict about the attendance, and there are specific hours like 3 hours a day sometimes. So they pay you based on a day, like $25 or maybe an hour or day. I don't remember because I haven't tried it. And they teach you French. So if you they promote their culture. So if you want to learn French through these institutions, you can learn French and they will pay you as well. But you need
Right.
to spend some time for that.
Right, and you also get some certificate. I assume they also give you some certificate to
Yes, yes.
things, right? That's really awesome. Yeah. And is there anything specific you would like to share with the viewers in terms of those coming to master's program?
Okay, so if you are coming to Canada for masters, specifically in any university or at any place, I mean, don't focus on hourly wages at first, like running behind 17 to 18 and maybe 15 more than basic pay. Try to focus on your academics and applying more. If you, as soon as you are taking care of your monthly expenses, you don't need much more than that. You will get that, but try to focus on what you need to get. That is the advice which I got from one of my friend when I came here, and trust me, it's helpful.
Right. Great, great. So, in terms of filing the visa, just that I thought of bringing this last question. In terms of filing the visa, were there any challenges, and was there any amount that you need to deposit to secure the seat, and how much is that, and how the things worked out in terms of the visa process?
Okay, so for my visa, I had a consultant
Mm-hmm.
for applying and everything, and financially, I paid my fees and GIC. I showed that document, and apart from that, I showed some of the finance in my bank account,
Mm.
uh, like whatever needed. So that was enough for applying for the visa.
Mm.
And one challenge which I faced while applying for visa is I got my admission letter in May
Mhm.
for fall intake. So it's very stringent timeline,
Mm.
and I had 3 months to get my visa
Mm.
and come to Canada.
Mm.
Otherwise, I would have taken a deferment for
Mm.
this semester. So, if you are applying for Quebec, specifically Concordia University,
Mm.
apart from visa, you need CAQ, which is Quebec Acceptance Certificate.
Mhm.
So you need to apply for CAQ first before you apply for visa. And once you get that, it is a 1 month process approximately to get CAQ. I
Mm.
don't know the current timeline, but it is approximately 1 month to get a CAQ. And then after getting CAQ, you need to attach that CAQ into your study permit while
Mhm.
applying for study permit.
Mhm.
Otherwise, your study permit might get rejected if you don't have CAQ.
Mhm.
It will be rejected because it is not allowed to be in Quebec without CAQ, even if
Mhm.
you have study permit. So what I did, I had less time, so I applied CAQ and study permit together, and
Mhm.
then I raised a web form and
Mhm.
attached my CAQ when I got it. So
Mhm.
it was a risk. My study permit can be rejected at
Mhm.
that time, but could have been rejected. But okay, I got my study permit on time.
Right, right, right. Awesome, awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing such a valuable information, Nikunj. Viewers, this is just like I always say, this is a guidance of what Nikunj has experienced in terms of pursuing his goals, and I always advise the viewers to do their thorough research in terms of their priorities and how the experiences can from the university can help them to reach there is something that the students has to take their own self-assessment, and it is always advisable to do the thorough research before flying to a different country abroad, and not always to do the thorough research is also something very important to be not scammed by people in abroad. So it is always good to do your thorough research. Thanks a lot, Nikunj, for
Thank
joining
you.
today and sharing your valuable experience and knowledge.
Thank you for your time as well.